Hey everyone, this is Rocky from We Learn Chess, and I just want to go over a quick game that I played on Lead Chess, just taking a break from work. I don't know anything about my opponent because I was just playing an anonymous. When I don't feel like thinking too hard, I just play anonymous because I can just play on instinct, and if I lose, I lose. I don't have to worry about my rating or anything. So I had the white pieces, and I don't even remember what the time control is. It was 5-3, so 5-3 blitz game, and he played the Philidor, and this all looks normal up till now. But the game gets pretty crazy pretty quick, and there's a couple little tactical things in here, so we can do puzzles. He played this move here. I don't know if I've seen this before, like just allowing me to take his bishop with my knight. It does reinforce his center, but he gives me the two bishops on a fairly open board, I guess. Maybe he can find a way to close it. But I don't know, maybe he's a little weaker. The thing is, when you play anonymous on Lead Chess, I've noticed that you get a lot of weaker players, like players who are just starting out. You also get a lot of cheaters, so you're usually either playing somebody kind of weak or someone incredibly strong who happens to be named Stockfish. So you don't really know what you're going to get, but you do get people in the middle. He didn't play terribly, actually, in this game, so I don't know, but I just thought this was kind of weird. I hadn't seen it. So I was kind of wondering what to do here. Like, I figured if I pinned him, then he would just play bishop b7 anyway. So first I played this move to hit this weak pawn and maybe try to induce a move that he didn't want. I kind of expected him to push here and just try to lock up the position because he had given me the bishops. But yeah, he played probably, if I had to guess, like a little substandard move, because now I can pin him and he can play bishop b7. Of course, he can kick my bishop, which probably he should do sooner rather than later, but okay, he didn't. So he protected the knight. That makes sense too. And he's looking to maybe castle long quickly. So here, I'm not sure. I think this is probably a mistake. I mean, I was just thinking about amping up the pressure, but as soon as I moved, I saw that he had this move, which sometimes happens in like Italian game structures and sometimes in Sicilians, where you get this knight jump here and you're getting forked and you're not losing a piece. I mean, I could probably just drop my queen back here, but then I'm giving the bishop pair back and I'm losing the initiative at the same time. And he does have an extra center pawn as compared to my center pawn. He has 2-1. So that seems like it's got to be a mistake on my part. He didn't see this though, and he just castled. I think he was worried about the attack. Now he's got a lot lined up here, so he's got more to think about. I also castled, but maybe I should have tried to think about amping up the pressure. I thought about maybe pushing this pawn and then getting this knight here, like just they call it a clearance sacrifice, like getting your own piece out of the way. So I could maybe push this here, he takes here, and then if he plays, it's a little bit annoying for him. I don't know how much that really gets me, though. I didn't quite understand this move, honestly. I feel like so probably is a little weaker player, just because like it's not really clear why I would jump a piece here to b5 right now. I mean, maybe later, but my pieces aren't really aimed over there, so I don't know. It just seemed like I couldn't understand that move, but maybe I'm missing something. Here, my idea, by now I saw that this fork move, so I was trying to get out of the fork and then maybe sneak over here to increase the pressure, but this is too slow. This often happens to me. Like, I like to play with the initiative, but then I don't pick the most forcing move. So if you want to play with the initiative and you want to try to attack, you have to give a little more thought to try to really pick the move that's not only going to give the most pressure, but also that it's hard to do anything against. Here he can just play h6, which he did. I decided to take giving up the bishop pair, or giving it back, I guess, just because I didn't want to lose time. So I'm not sure about that decision. Probably I should try to keep the bishops for like some kind of long-term thing to play for. I also allow him to kind of further strengthen his center. So I don't know. I'm not sure if pawn takes is really best, but in any case, I definitely lost something in my last like 4 or 5 moves here. I really didn't play that well at all. So I snuck back over here. I'm just trying to get towards the king side, and he's developing a little bit. He's getting on a good diagonal and eyeing up this knight here. And I just got my king to safety, and now he broke here. So at some point it made sense to break. At first I thought, well, hey, I'm just going to take this pawn. And he can't take back because his pawn is pinned to the queen. And on top of that, I've got some pressure on this pawn. So it just looked like maybe a mistake on his part, and it probably is. But you might want to stop the video and see sort of what continuations could happen after white takes. because this is clearly the move to play, but you want to see what's going to happen after this, because you figure black's going to realize that he can't take back. So what else could black do, and what do you expect, and then what are you going to do in response? All right, so I did take, and he played a Zwischenzug. I don't know how to say that German word, but this in-between move. So one of the things I've noticed as I've moved up a little bit in the rankings, I'm still obviously just an intermediate player, but I've definitely noticed that players tend to look a lot more for these in-between moves, and I have to look for them myself as well. So he takes this knight, and I've got a choice to make. I can either take back and protect my pawn structure, or keep the pressure on this pawn, or do something else. So again, if you want to pause the video and kind of see what you might do here as white, you can do that. Okay, so in the game, I took here first, which actually is the best move, because I realized that if he does anything with the bishop, I'm going to take this with check. Also, my queen is protected, but that doesn't really matter because this comes with check. So he still has 2 pieces attacked, so I've got some material here. And he decided to play this knight move out here, which is an interesting move. And again, if you want to pause your video and see what you would do here as white, you can go ahead and do that. So this is the idea that I had in the game, which was to actually infiltrate with my queen, because he never took the time to move the king over. I had looked about doing that way back here when I first moved this. I didn't quite mention it because I wanted to save that for later. But the reason I didn't do it right away is because I saw that I could play knight here and protect this square with this knight, and I didn't quite see how I was going to be better there. But the computer does like going in here, and after this, somehow, some way, the computer found a way. I mean, first probably you got to get your bishop out of the way here, but I couldn't quite explain why the computer wanted to play this as black. I remember that, and for some reason open up this file so that the tempo could be given on the queen, and then the bishop could be allowed in here. So there must be some pretty good reason, and the knight is kind of stuck to defending here. So then the rook's got to go here. Maybe this can be taken, I guess, but I just didn't quite fully understand it, so I'm not going to try to explain why that e file was opened. But I didn't see that far. I just saw that the knight was going to come here, and I didn't quite see how I was making any progress. Okay, we got this game continuation where I did play this in between move now. Now the knight can't jump in there as easily. It can jump back, which he did in the game, to come for defense, but now his knight's going to be stuck back here, and this I felt a lot better about because now I have a target over here on b7. So this bishop has been hanging this whole time. I thought that was kind of cool. I felt proud of myself anyway. I finally did decide to take it just because at some point I figured I might have to get my rooks up and over, and that bishop was going to be really annoying. So I just felt like I had to take it. The computer agrees that that's the best move. And here, another pawn move. I guess he wants to attack this pawn laterally. I'm not really sure. Again, this is kind of slow. He played a couple slow pawn moves in this game, and I felt like I did an okay job of trying to punish it. I spent a lot of time thinking here because, I knew that I wanted to try to attack this pawn, so I guess that kind of gives you a clue of what to look for. Initially, I didn't, maybe I didn't quite see far enough. But ultimately, I did play what turns out to be the best move, which is King A1. And I hesitated at this for a moment because I saw that he could move his queen here, even on the next move. And look at this check here. But I knew my next move was going to be here. Like if he had moved here with the queen, I was going to move the rook over, and then if he checks, then I'm blocking the check, but I'm also still attacking this, and I could probably try to develop my pack. He can't take this yet because it's checkmate. So I always have this pawn, which is defending the escape square. This is the big problem here for black, and that's one of the reasons that I wanted to play that in-between move earlier, where I captured that, where I was threatening his knight, I'm sorry. So, okay, so I played over, and yeah, his idea was to try to go after the pawn and I guess give an exchange just to relieve the pressure and give his king an escape. But this is a little too slow, so now the pressure comes in really fast. And he played probably, I don't know if these are the best moves, but he has a really difficult time now. So he's defending laterally, but I've got this nice move now, which is just exploiting all kinds of pins. This knight is pinned, so it can't take. And this pawn is actually pinned. He can't take this either because of checkmate. In the game, he took it, and I got to checkmate him, which was kind of nice, again, relying on this lack of escape squares. The only thing probably that he could do here as black is just kind of recognize that he made a mistake. He'd probably have to go back here. But then we've got a nice continuation if you want to try to spot the checkmate here. So yeah, you want to take this with the rook because it actually threatens more with the discoveries, and he pretty much has to take this with the queen because he's going to get checkmated here otherwise. The rook also prevents the queen from coming over here, so if you had taken with the bishop there would have been check, but maybe there was some way to extend this a little more. Either way, I'm sure it's terrible for black, but black does have to take this here, and now you have one last Zwischenzug, which I guess is the theme of this video. So I guess I'll put it in the title. If you want to find white's last in-between move in this game, go ahead and do that. So it looks really funny, but you can actually play the other rook over to b1, and this queen actually can't do anything. Can't take the rook, even sacrifice itself that way because it's pinned this way. Can't take the queen because it's also pinned to the king that way. And there's nothing really that black can do. I mean, he could potentially try to put another piece here, but then you've got, maybe this is the final in-between move. If I'd seen this far, I just take this with check. And again, knight is pinned, so it can't take. The queen is pinned, so it can't take. The rook's got to come in, and you've got 3 pieces on b7. So after that, you're just checkmating. So black could do a few things to extend the game, but in the end couldn't save himself. So this was a game of in-between moves for both sides. And although my opponent was probably a little bit weaker, I thought it was still fun. And I did have to find some key moves. And I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you around for the next video.